later on in the afternoon, I went to go take a shower, and the towel I hung up over the shower curtain thing, it was covered in butter, and I was like, holy shit, it's over here too.
Because he was trying to hide the evidence and clean his hands.
Ashley, it's been a while since you've been on the podcast with me. How you been?
Oh, fantastic.
Fantastic. Wonderful. I've not been very good this week because I'm kind of in a mood, I guess, it's lasted all week
Well,
long.
you've kind of been trapped
Yeah, trapped like a rat.
with children.
So it's spring break here in the Fulton house, and it's been a difficult spring break for me in particular because I've been really bored. The kids have been really bored, and that boredom has not led to anything good. It's not like, man, we've had some adventures, but it's been misadventures, really.
I was going to say, was the butter incident adventure or misadventure?
So let me tell you about the butter incident. So I don't know. I turned my back for 5 minutes on the kid because I had to go out. I went outside, took care of a little business, and I come back inside. Everything was fine. Everything was fine. And so I turned my back. I was paying attention to my phone. And next thing I know, I look over and Rocket's coming out of the bedroom with his hands covered in something. I couldn't really tell what it was. And just the day before, he had put toothpaste on the cat. So I was thinking it was toothpaste. And I went in there and, of course, the damn damn cat ran by and he's got butter on his back. So I knew it at that point. I was like, it's butter. And so
he still feels a little oily.
I get close to him, and then his hands, our little Rocket's hands are covered in butter and cat hair. And so I was like, oh my goodness. And then I look over into the bathroom, and it's all over the bathroom. Like all over the bathroom. It's on the floor, on the sink, on the wall.
The next day I found it under the sink.
Okay, so I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Okay. So I was cleaning him up, and I got him all cleaned up, washed his hands and everything.
There's the butter cat.
There's the butter cat. And look, he's still greasy. And anyway, so I'm cleaning him up. I clean the cat up. I get, Rocket's hands washed. And then I start cleaning up the bathroom. I got the floor. I got the sink. And then I thought I was all done. I got out of there and done and everything. Later on in the afternoon, I went to go take a shower, and the towel I hung up over the shower curtain thing, it was covered in butter, and I was like, holy shit, it's over here too.
Because he was trying to hide the evidence and clean his hands.
And so I was, oh my goodness. And I couldn't really be mad at him because, I mean, of course you get a little aggravated at him and say, what, you get a little irritated, I guess is what you'd say. But you can't really, be mad at him. It's kind of my fault. He had lack of supervision. I didn't notice he was in the butter, and, he's only 5.
Yeah. And he's obsessed with the butter.
He loves butter for some reason. So I got all that cleaned up on the towel rack, and then I thought I was all done. And then you had told me this morning you had found it in the cabinet underneath the sink in the bathroom. There was like half a stick of butter in there.
Yeah. At first I thought it was like dried lumps of lotion, because I do have a big lotion bottle down there. And then I was like, that's kind of greasy.
So you know what it probably was? He was probably hit a stick of butter underneath the cabinet.
Probably, yeah. Well, I think I just put a new stick of butter in the butter dish, and that's probably what he did.
Man, and I don't know what to do with that. It's stuff like that's been happening all week long, and it's not like it's horrible things. It's just, little kids and mischief. But he's been on one all week long, and it's tested my patience. And then the older one, he's
been bored.
Bless him. They are both really bored. But then the thing is, like, I could take them somewhere. I could go to like a park or something, let them burn off a little energy. But then I'm bored too. and then I have to take both of them by myself, and that's a chore. And I really wish, like some people don't understand when you're kind of venting about that stuff. Well, I could take them somewhere by myself, but that is exhausting.
Yeah.
It really is
That's more exhausting than sitting here watching them
Exactly.
cause hate and discontent.
And I do have plans to do things with them, but we only had a couple of days of good weather, and those couple of days that we had good weather were not optimal days for me to take them places. And it's all muddy and everything, so it just wasn't going to work out the way we wanted it to.
Yeah.
But I do have plans to go places with them in the summertime.
Yeah. Well, and I think the older one is like living his best life, playing video games and watching YouTube all day. But
that's we would only dream of having a spring break like this when we were kids.
Yeah. I don't even think ours was a full week.
I feel bad though. It makes me feel like a shitty parent because I haven't really done anything with them, all winter long. Like we haven't done anything. The few times it's really snowed, it's been really too cold for me to go out and fuck with it. But
well, and like I did take the boys out the one day to go play in the snow, but it was like powder. It was like not fun to play with.
Yeah, when there's no hills around here.
It was like a lot of snow, but
we have little bitty hills, but older kids need. These are kids that go on roller coasters and stuff. Speaking of roller coasters, I just found out that there is a pass for our local Kansas City Worlds of Fun that allows you to go to all parks, all Cedar Fair parks, and some of the biggest roller coasters in the United States are Cedar Fair.
Like you can go to the one in California. There's one in Minnesota.
Or is it Cedar Fair or Cedar Point? One of those, something like that. I don't even know.
I think there's one in Ohio or.
Yeah, I think that's
something.
one that's got the Top Fuel Dragster or whatever. It's a badass roller coaster. I really want to ride.
Yeah, there's an employee at work that bought one.
Yeah. Yeah, you were telling me about that. That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
I'm speaking of work, you're kind of going into you're kind of shifting gears into a new, I guess a new version of your career. You're heading in a different direction than what you were in management, and now you're switching gears and going to HR.
Yeah. Tomorrow's the last day. Tomorrow's the last day of me telling people what to do. And Monday, I get to be told what to do. It's going to be fantastic.
I can imagine after all these years of, how does that make you feel that, you've been at this for so long and you're getting ready to go out the door into a new chapter of your life, I guess?
Well, at first I was kind of nervous about doing it, but now I'm just like, let's go. Like, let's get it going, especially because like people in that department have came up to me and they're like, we're so ready for Monday. Like, we're so ready to have you starting Monday. And I'm like, I'm ready to be there. Like,
but then you've got all the people in your current department. You've got all the people in your current department are coming up to you and they're sad that you're leaving.
Yeah.
How does that make it? Like, what does that feel like? Like the excitement on one end, but the disappointment on the other. How's that feel?
Well, like,
I've never been, the reason why I ask is I've never been through anything like this. And you know me, I'm a curious type of guy. And I figure the only way I'm going to get these answers is to ask them on the podcast.
Well, yeah, it's kind of sad, I guess. Like I tried to tell them, like, I'm still going to be in the same building. Like, you guys will still see me. It's not like I'm leaving. You're never going to see me again. And they'll be like, well, you're going to be the person in the back. We don't see the people in the back.
Well, what you're going to be doing, though, is it goes hand in hand with environmental services. So,
a little. Yeah, it's more on, like, the HR side of things instead of, department specific. But
you're not on the front lines.
Things I do will affect them ultimately.
Right. And the things that they do, the things that they do will cause headaches for you.
Yeah. But I think they all understand, why I'm doing what I'm doing. They knew, they were right there when I went to school for 7 years.
Yeah, a
you
lot of
know?
them were. A lot of them. So, and that's kind of like some of these people you've known for 15 years or more, and I can just so I've never been in that type of environment for very long anyway. In my career path, I've never been in an office for real, but your position, you were kind of all over the place, and now you're going to have one single office that you go to, and you're going to spend majority of your time in that one office. It's not filled with other people.
Yeah.
Isn't that exciting?
Or having to like constantly put out fires. Like I feel like that's the majority of what I do all day is put out fires
And that's kind of stressful. I
or
know.
try to problem solve. And not that I don't like problem solving, but after 17 years of problem solving every day, all day.
Yeah. That is kind of stressful. I know you'd mentioned in the past that you did put out a lot of fires in your position, and that just goes with the job.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was some weeks where it just seemed like your phone would just ring nonstop, and you're like, well, I got to answer it.
Yeah. Well, and then, for me, I'm the only one in my department. Well, I've been the manager the longest
Yeah.
in my department, and I've worked all 3 shifts, so I know how everything operates in every single aspect of environmental services. So, like, I'm the go-to person. So,
Yeah.
like, it's like you see that meme that's like, I became important at my job, and it's like killing me,
Yeah.
like,
I think of you when I see those type of memes, and I like actually send them to you, but it's a very it's a proud moment in my life because I've watched you go from, basically a glorified toilet cleaner to management to heading out the door. Now you're in HR, which is, I mean, in all sense of the word, I guess is climbing the ladder.
yeah.
And I never wanted to do that. And so,
Yeah. Well, and I don't know if it's so much climbing the ladder or moving like lateral, like, right? Isn't that the right word? Lateral.
yeah, laterally, yeah.
Even though it's not leadership, like
It's still leadership.
that position does
It's
have
not
some
leadership,
say
but it's
over
leadership. Yeah.
what happens within the organization. And that was my whole thing I wanted to do in my department. I was so like siloed in on just that department.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do something that would affect multiple areas of the organization. So,
Do you think that your position that you're at now will help your new position? Do you think it would, the experience that you gained will be ultimately helpful for your new position?
I think so. I think just relationship wise with other people in the organization, like I already had like somebody way high up come to me and say like, I deal with the people in your position on a daily basis. And I already have a relationship with that person. And so I think because all these people know me, I mean, it's going to be hard for them because they know me as Ashley, the manager in environmental services. They don't know me as Ashley, the lady in HR. And so,
Yeah, you're going to be dressing different. You're going to be doing different things. You're not going to be at the office 100% of the time.
yeah, like somebody told me today, like, oh my gosh, Ashley, you're going to have to buy a whole new wardrobe. And I said, I know, all I own is scrubs and pajamas. So
Now, in your position before, you did get to go travel a little bit to do trainings and certifications. Are you still going to have those type of opportunities?
I don't know. I thought about that because I'm afraid to fly now.
I was going to
And
talk.
so-
I was going to actually talk about that next.
So I'm
'cause I
hoping
was,
like that's not going to happen anytime soon if it does. So.
So we've already been down to Texas. If you guys haven't watched the Texas shit show, we took my mother-in-law down to Texas, and we kind of documented that. And when we got back, I mean, we were horrible picture takers because we like to live in the moment. And when when we were down there, the pictures that we did take are on our phones. We're moving, we're like, it was a second afterthought of what we were doing. So none of the pictures look good. But
I mean, because basically we were looking for UFOs the whole time. We didn't see any.
well, I don't. I think I've seen more UFOs around the world. We looked more for UFOs where we live than when we were down there. I don't think I had really much time to go out and explore and look for stars and watch single stars and see if they move.
Yeah.
But no, I did have a good time when we went down to Houston and drop your mom off, but going down to get her, going to picking her up. We were supposed to go pick her up together. We were going to go back down there, and whatever happened, that ultimately wasn't going to be the plan anymore. So she wanted you to fly down and drive her back so she didn't have to drive. And then all these issues keep happening with the planes and the FAA and
you're not going to catch me on a plane.
yeah. So you were looking for flights and I was like, why are you flying? And you're like, oh, I got to go get my mom. And I was like, listen, I understand that she wants to come home, but you're going to have to drive. And you're like, that's a good point. And I'm like, look, another fire today.
And then I believe what you said is, I would hate to have that kind of I told you so moment when I can't even tell you so.
Right. I mean, hey, right? I mean, listen, it's not like I told you so happens all the time in my house. I have those moments all the time, and that would be disastrous. I wouldn't want
You'd
that
just
to
be cussing me and I'd be dead.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, you might be rich because you could sue them or something.
The chance, no, like that's I think you give up rights to that on the plane ticket. I don't know. That's weird if you do. But anyway, it's one of those things where I don't really want to think about it. But if we were going to go on vacation and we were all going to fly, I would kind of demand that we all go on different planes. Like, I'll take half the kids with me, you take half the kids with you.
We'll make them draw straws.
Right. I mean, just in case. It is well, like, and if we go somewhere without kids, I'm gonna ride in a different airplane. That's just the way it is. Statistically, talking about your mom, what kind of shenanigans has she been up to in Texas?
Absolutely nothing. Like, I don't know. She does really like her neighbor lady in her retirement village there.
She was bitching about the cliques that they have down
Yeah,
there.
apparently they have cliques in this restful valley place.
So your mom's actually
sounds like a cemetery.
She's like right on the border. She's like, so what is that place there she's at? It's not McAllen. Mission, Texas, which is really close to McAllen, which McAllen is right on the border. McAllen is a border town.
She's like, it's got to be like less than a half an hour away from the border.
And it's, oh my goodness, it's so nerve-wracking for me to be like leaving her down there at night.
I have, Life 360 though.
I know.
On her.
I know. But she's talking about like, so we took her, this says it was trailer park. I mean, it's
not, it's cute.
It's cute, but it's shitty. I mean, if you think of it like
it has a pool and a community
rundown
building.
trailer park in the fucking desert, that's what this is.
Yeah, there's no grass.
Yeah,
that I seen
it's a rundown trailer park in the desert. Looks like it's been there for 50 years. And that's exactly what it is.
There's old people that drive golf carts around.
Yeah, yeah,
and there's swimsuits.
It's ridiculously like I felt like I was in a movie when I was driving around down there. It was like, are we in Albuquerque? Is what it felt like,
You felt like you were in an episode of Breaking Bad.
Yes, exactly. And the Mexicans, they were everywhere. So. But anyway, she was talking about cliques at the community center, the old folks community center. What was she bitching about that?
Yeah, so she was saying like, some cliques will like plan things and they won't tell the other clique, that they have something going on, and then they'll cancel it, when somebody gets word so these people don't go. And she's like, you won't know it's canceled until like 5 minutes before it starts. And yeah, she was just like, I'm not getting involved in all that. And I asked her if she went to the pool. I don't even know. She took like 14 swimsuits with her. I don't even think she's been to the pool yet. But she has went to the community center and did some stuff and talked to some people. So like, because I think she met some people that are like from Kansas City.
Well, that's neat.
Or close. Anyway, or Kansas City, Topeka, something.
Yeah,
like
there's
that.
a lot of
So,
there's actually a lot of Chiefs fans in Mexico too.
yeah. So she thought that was kind of neat.
Oddly enough, there's a lot of Chiefs fans in Texas too. So
Yeah.
So that's pretty exciting that your mom's coming home, I guess, because you get to listen.
I mean, like
to
one
her.
of the exciting things, I mean, like she probably didn't think it was exciting, but I thought it was like a funny story that she told me is that she locked herself out of her trailer.
Oh boy.
And she called the landlord and they didn't have another key. The only key they had was the key they gave her. And so
Now, is this the same landlord she tried to proposition when she moved in there?
So the actual landlord is an older Hispanic lady. And so that was like her son or something that came over. But anyways, so she had to get the neighbor lady's son or grandson or something to climb up through the only unlocked window in the trailer and let her in.
I'm glad you didn't tell me about that earlier. That's funny.
Yeah.
Because I seen that trailer and
the window's probably like what, this big? Like
I kid you not. Like this is it's a piece of shit. Like
yeah. She said that it was like a 2-hour ordeal, and of course it's Texas. It's hot.
Yeah.
I
don't know, man. I couldn't do it. Even if it was the winter time, I couldn't stay down there because like when you think about like projects, that's the type of living that I think about. Like it's poor, like old, and they're charging $1 million for rent. It feels like her rent's almost as much as our house payment for a little bitty ass trailer.
Yeah, it's like 600 or something like that. She actually talked him down because like when she got down there, like the air conditioner didn't work of all things.
Yeah.
In Texas, like the other day it was 108 there. So.
Conditioner was broke.
Well, I think it works now.
Yeah.
But like when she moved in, it didn't
work.
The
heater didn't work either, remember? Because it got down to like freezing in there for like a week and a half.
Yeah, it got down into the 30s or 40s when she was down there. Yeah.
That's nuts.
So she went and she brought a space heater with her down there.
Did she?
Yeah. So
that's funny.
She said, it heats the whole trailer. Well, it has to. It's the size of our front room.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. I don't know. Well, a lot of things have been happening around the world this week. I kind of wanted to switch gears a little bit and have kind of a not so, I don't know, not so politically charged, because it seems like all my conversations lead into politics somehow and the world and how it is. But I wanted to kind of shift gears on that, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do for Monday. I don't really have any plans lined up for Monday, but we're going to figure something out.
You should do it live.
I don't know. I don't really particularly like doing lives because I'm never prepared for them, and I don't really have anybody to talk to. I don't really have, like, when I do it at like 6 o'clock in the morning, nobody's awake at that time. So, and that's really the only time I have available to do a live, because usually I have appointments during the day. Now this Monday I don't really have anything going on, but I'm not really entirely sure what we're going to do, but I'll figure out something.
Yeah.
I mean, worst case Ontario, I don't do anything, and it'll be just fine, because
you can come out here and have conversation with cats.
Slow news day. I don't know. This spring break's really gotten to me though. I feel like a bad dad. I feel like, the coffee with bearded bad dad. That's why, I'm not perfect. But I feel like I could have done things differently this week to make them work better for me, for the kids, and for you, because the house is a disaster and you've had to deal with my crankiness all week. And I apologize for that.
I mean, I'm good. And I'm like, tomorrow's my last day.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of stress, and does it feel like a weight lifted off of you? Because I know that it's not that you don't like your position, but it's like it comes with a lot of stress and a lot of extra duties that you have to do away from the office.
Yeah, because you can never like turn it off. You can never turn work off. And that's,
If something happens like in the middle of the night, you have to answer your phone. You have to, because you're the leadership for third shift, even though you're at home.
yeah. And like, I don't just think about my shift I'm responsible for. I think about all 3 shifts. Think about the new people, like that's just what I do.
And you were a training and education specialist there for a little while. So that's, I mean, that kind of,
Yeah.
you kind of have to answer to, you're responsible for the whole department in that direction. So, I mean, you do have to interact with new people. And
Yeah.
this,
I mean,
that.
in the past 6 weeks, I've hired 17 people. So it's been rough.
I hope they all stick around.
I hope so too.
Yeah. So has it been like a huge weight lifted off your shoulders and you get to, transition into a new role?
Yeah.
And
Cause in my new role, they're like, we're done at 4:30.
the same organization. So
Yeah.
it's not like you're going far.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was exciting to hear. Like, I don't have to worry about work after 4:30,
Right.
So, yeah.
I bet that is like a huge, like you don't have to worry about what time you're going to get off. It's all stops, like even when on the days that you have to stay over like till 5:30, 6 o'clock or whatever.
I'll know ahead of
it's-
time.
When you leave the building, you're done for the day.
Yeah.
And you don't have
Like,
to worry
no
about
need for a
call-ins.
work paid phone,
Yeah.
nothing.
No need to make emergency plans if it snows.
Yeah.
To make sure that you make it to work. So
Yeah. Like, I have the option to work from home 2 days a week.
Yeah.
So,
And that'd be super helpful during the winter time when we,
yeah.
when we have weather, when most generally know it's coming, so you'll be able to prepare for that and bring your stuff home. And you have a wonderful office here to work in.
Yeah. And the best part is like,
There's plenty of light in here.
there's opportunity for growth and there's opportunity for a pay raise and there's just more opportunity with it, like, all together, and less stress.
Less
So-
stress. That's exciting to hear. There's less stress, but also at the same time, it's also a different kind of stress, wouldn't you
Yeah.
say?
Yeah. I mean, there's still a high amount of responsibility with this position. It's just like, I don't have to delegate responsibility, I
Right,
guess.
right.
So,
And you don't have to wait for the bureaucracy as much.
yeah,
Yeah, I bet that's going to be special.
yeah,
Not having to check in with this person or this person and make sure this gets done because you already did this, and meetings about this and meetings about
Yeah.
meetings. That's exhausting sometimes.
yeah. Or,
Even though
sometimes-
I've never had to deal with it.
sometimes it gets rough, like talking about the same thing
See, I've been
for
the
like
one.
months and months and months and months, and then you have to circle back around to it. And,
I've been the
yeah.
one that they have to have meetings about.
Oh,
So
you're one of those.
I'm one of those. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, so what do you think of what are we gonna do for the weekend? We got any? We're supposed to have some
We got family dinner.
decent weather. Yeah, we got family dinner coming up. That's always exciting. I'm really glad that we started that tradition. I really enjoy that tradition, having all the kids, even though sometimes it comes with some arguing and some tussles. I enjoy it. I'm glad that my kids, and I'd really like to expand it, make it every week when we're more financially able to handle that, because it is we feed a lot
Yeah.
of people, like all the kids and their significant others. And then, the big kid here at home,
Yeah.
he's a teenager. So,
Yeah.
teenage boys. Whew.
Yeah. Garlic bread just disappears.
Yeah, you buy 2 loaves and it's enough. It feeds everyone, but like, You know, if somebody wants one extra piece, they're just shit out of luck.
Yeah. Or then you have Caleb in his to-go containers.
Yeah,
Like he
yeah,
brings them with him.
yeah. Well, I mean, when you're having his favorite, you know.
Yeah. It seems like everything's his favorite then.
Well, you can't blame him. I mean, we're the ones that sends him home with all of it. So.
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty.
Yeah, and that's why we do it, though. And I really enjoy that we like. I hope that this means a lot to our older kid, you know, our older children, and then they carry on that tradition with their kids because, like, it's shaping out. But like, it's looking like we're gonna have a big family.
Yeah.
And I want everybody around as much as possible because when I was a kid, I didn't understand how much that stuff really meant. And I didn't expect for it all to go away all at once. You know, like it seemed like one or two people in our family is what held the entire family together.
Yeah.
And
So, I
when
mean,
they-
that's same on mine too.
When they passed away, it was like all the family just like fart in the wind,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Well, and like with me, I mean, like I have a huge family on both sides, but I'm like one of the youngest grandkids also on both sides.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'm one of the youngest. I'm one of the youngest grandkids on all sides of my family. So it's
and you're
like,
fucking old.
yeah, I am. There's a few younger than me, but then you get into great grands, and you know, it's weird because like I had a pretty decent sized family growing up, and now like my kids don't have anybody. Everybody's dead or dying or don't want anything to do with anybody. So,
Yeah.
and it's not like, you know, it's not like we're mad at each other or don't like each other. We just never talk.
No, and everybody's just busy. I feel like everybody's busy nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
Like, and I do know like my aunt is retired now. My uncle's getting ready to retire. So they'll have some free time, but they got a big ass family of their own. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's the people that I've grown up with are,
Well, and they're kind of busy without their family
Yeah,
too. They have
yes.
their own projects they do and stuff. So,
oh, it's ridiculous. They're busy people, even in retirement. So
Yeah.
it's great though. It's really great to see that kind of stuff. It's really good to see people doing shit, man. I just seeing like, was it Monday and Tuesday we had decent weather, or Tuesday and Wednesday? I was seeing kids all day out at the park. It was really wonderful, and I had the windows open and everything, and
the cats were soaking up the sun.
yeah, yeah. And it's really good to see everybody out moving and doing things and everything. Because after the winter that I've had, it was, you know, I've not had a very good winter, but it's a winter I prepared well for, I think. We made it. It's the first day of spring today.
It is?
Yes, it is the first day of spring.
Kind of chilly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, for another couple hours anyway. But
Yeah.
it reminded me of to take a second and just kind of enjoy nature. You know, I was out there actually today listening to the birds chirping and everything. I couldn't hear any dogs barking, and there wasn't any crackheads cracking. But I listening to the birds and just soaking up the sun. It was really nice. And there wasn't anybody out there at that time, but I'm looking forward to the adventures that we got going on. I'm looking forward to all the plans whether I actually do these plans or not, I'm looking forward to them.
Yeah. I mean, like, I guess it's just fun planning
Yeah,
the plans.
and it really is for me. But like when I have, when I plan most things out, I don't really think of how I'm going to pay for them. So
That's
it's
not important.
yeah, it's never important. Like we're planning to go to Universal at least once this year. I have no idea how we're going to pay for that. I've not set aside anything. I've not, you know,
Go fund me. No.
yeah.
Go fund my Universal trip.
Everybody like and subscribe.
Yeah.
You know, so now I have no idea how I'm going to pay for it, but it's not really important to me because like it's just a goal, you know, and if I don't make it, like I do have a backup and I'm going to be able to deliver on that backup for sure. So, and the backup is Worlds of Fun. I'm gonna do that we're gonna do that regardless of whether we get to go to Universal Studios or not, because like I have to have something to do this summer with the kids, because last summer was a drag
Yeah.
because we didn't do anything because we thought that we'd be able to do some things, but we didn't have a decent, vehicle with air conditioning. We didn't go camping because we didn't have the camping equipment, and to buy the camping equipment is really expensive. Plus there's Rocket, which we don't want him to run away. And there's so many things. Rocket is, for those of you listening that don't know, Rocket, he's our youngest son. He has autism and he is 5. He'll be 6. But the reason why we can't go camping is we don't know if he'll run away or not. And that's kind of dangerous. Some of the places that we would go camping, there's like water, lots of water. He doesn't know how to swim yet. So that would present a problem. And then some of the places I want to go camping, there's bears.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know if I want to go camping with bears.
oh, come on now. It'd be an adventure.
Gonna see that as a misadventure.
Yeah, that's probably one of those I told you so moments waiting to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm actually looking forward to this summer. I think things are going to be, financially, I think things are going to calm down with the economy. I think a lot of things are going to break open this summer. Without getting into politics, I think the energy, our energy cost is going to go down. I think.
I hope so.
I think the electric bill, it's going to take probably 6 months, 8 months, year to go down. But once energy starts flowing more freely, prices are start drop. We've already seen a drop in gas prices. So
Now if we can just see a drop in eggs.
yeah, and think about it. If we could, see a little bit of price drop on gas, that will allow us to travel a little bit. Like within our state, maybe. One tank trips. You ever heard of like there's YouTube? They do lots of things, but there's one tank trips that you can take 1-2 hours away from your house. Pretty much anywhere in the United States, within a couple hours, there's something to see.
Yeah.
Something to do. So that's a challenge to everybody: is get out and do something. And that's what I want to do. If the gas prices go down, we'll be able to afford to get a little bit further away from the house and do things, and that'll be exciting because there's lots of stuff to do within just a couple hours. Shit, St. Louis is only 4 hours from us.
Yeah.
So, there's lots of shit to do in
Springfield
St.
has
Louis.
the drive-through zoo.
St. Louis has a
Or not St. Louis, Springfield.
St. Louis has a you did say Springfield, I think.
Oh.
But St. Louis has a Six Flags. That's pretty exciting. There's a Six Flags in Arlington, Texas as well.
Yeah.
So I really like theme parks, and I think that going and hanging out at a theme park would be. And one other thing, I've never hung out in the Ozarks. I've lived here my entire life in Missouri and have never hung out in the Ozarks ever.
Yeah.
My whole life. I've never been to Branson. That might be kind of just worth the drive. Just go down there and
Drive
see
through
it. Drive down for lunch or something.
Yeah. Go to Lambert's.
I used to do that shit all the time. Like, you remember when we were in our 20s? I think we drove to Topeka to get lunch one time, didn't we?
I have no idea.
I think we did.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah. I think I took you to Tailgaters.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Topeka is such a memorable place.
Yeah. Topeka's a shithole. And it always has been. There's no excuse for it. Clean it up, Kansas. But anyway, what are you most excited about for this summer? I know that we don't really have a whole lot of big plans, but the plans we have talked about, it's like going to Worlds of Fun and stuff.
I don't know. Like, Rocket's going to have a birthday at the end of May. Maybe Sully can learn to drive over the summer.
Yes, that's a great idea.
Your car.
Yes, absolutely. That's a fantabulous idea. As he's 15, you know, he'll be 16 soon. It's a perfect age to get out there and hit the open road.
Yeah, that's
And
scary.
just imagine though, just imagine like when he's 16, that's another driver. When we go travel, we can make him drive. Well, I would have made Caleb do it.
He doesn't pay attention
Neither
in
does
life.
Caleb.
So he's
I
going to be
hear
like,
ya.
oh, I think I found a shortcut, guys. And it's going to take us into a parking lot.
Oh, have you ever seen the movie Due Date, where they're driving down the road and he falls asleep?
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, I could just see that happening. I think that would be a disaster.
Or either he's going to be like, nervous Nelly.
But one time when I took Caleb to San Francisco, we rented a convertible Mustang and we were driving down the 101 doing 101. But anyway, he wasn't. But he was 16 and I was like, here, you only have this experience once. We're here in San Francisco, California. It's beautiful weather. We got a convertible. Why don't you drive? And he's like, I don't want to. I'm like, why? And he's like, man, you see because I, whipped around a couple corners or whatever. And he was kind of scared of the power that the car had.
Yeah.
And I was like, Caleb, calm down. It's a V6. I had to make it do that kind of stuff. Just get over here. You'll be fine. I was like, I told him, I was like, it's got less power than your car's got.
Yeah. This is the kid that, backed into the parking garage wall because he didn't want to park near other cars.
Yeah. Well, our little hobbit driving a big old giant. I'm pretty sure that was a lifted truck too.
I'll never forget that. Sure woke me up at 7:00 in the morning.
What are you doing? We're going to fall off this bitch. And interesting stories, the things that happen to parents that we don't really, that happen, the ridiculous things that happen so much on a daily basis that, like the butter incident, like the other
me
day.
telling,
That shit happens every day. I don't even know how to describe to people. Like
I've never told anybody to put pants on so much in my life.
yeah, like the last year and a half with the older kid, it's
It's
kinda
my fault.
ridiculous.
It's my fault. When he was little, I used to be like,
You want to take your pants off? Let's take your
you want
pants
to get
off.
comfortable, because I would get off work and take my work pants off, and then I'd ask him, he would take his jeans off, and he'd run around in his underwear.
Well, I don't mind it so much. It's just,
When his brother-in-law and sisters here,
there, yeah.
he's running around in his underwear.
Hey, you just got out of the shower. He doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
I mean, I don't know. It's just underwear. I guess that's why it doesn't bother me, because I used to do the same shit.
Yeah.
I don't really have any, now I'm just old and soupy. I'm soupy looking.
Soupy.
Well, for a lack of better term, what do you call this thing? I don't know. This summer, I think, if you ask me what I'm most excited about this summer, I'd have to say the part where the kids go back to school.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, because, summertime is, for like the last 5 years, has been kind of weird for me because, I haven't been able to do anything on my own during the summer. I would like to go, even if I had the kids, I'd like to be able to just take off and go somewhere, even for a little bit by myself. But, you have to work. You have to work. It's not like you can stay home and play all day with us. You have to go to work, and I just can't do things on my own with these kids.
Yeah.
And they don't see it as a problem that we're out in public and they're both yapping at me at the same time. They don't see that as a problem.
No.
And like an inch away from my face, and I'm like, guys, you don't act this way at home. Why are you acting this way now? You're
Well,
embarrassing me.
And Rocket's new thing is Sully's not the boss, right? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, and I'm not the boss. I'm like, right. And he's like, you and Dad are the boss. Yeah. So Sully's not the boss. And I'm like, no, Sully's not the boss.
And
Even when kids are around, Sully's not the boss. Yeah, Sully's not the boss.
The only reason he does that is just to get Sully's
Yeah.
goat, and it works.
Yeah, because Sully will tell him, well, you have to listen to me if mom and dad ain't around. And I'm like, when are we not? We don't leave you with him.
There's a
So,
reason for that. So nobody told me that, about this whole special needs parenting. Nobody told me about this either. He's right behind you.
did you see that hair?
Yeah. Anyway, nobody told me that about special needs parenting, that I would never be able to leave my 5-year-old and my 15-year-old in the same room together without them pissing each other off on purpose.
Yeah.
Never in a million years did I think I'd see that. Like, the 5-year-old knows exactly how to get under the 15-year-old skin,
Yeah.
and he does it on purpose. And then the 15-year-old, in turn, will wait and seize his moments when it's most inopportune time for me. And then he will be like, ha, gotcha, bitch.
Because what happens is like Rocket is very like he wants to play pretend and he wants to do all this stuff and he wants to do his little role playing stuff, and then Sully's very literal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like as soon as Sully has to correct Rocket, like if Rocket's like, oh, I love your purple hair, and Sully's like, their hair's not purple, it's magenta. And then Rocket will be like, it's not magenta. It's insane.
And normal parents would probably laugh at that. But then when you deal with it all day, every day, for the entirety of spring break, it makes you want to pull your hair out, because like it's not like I could just be mean to them. It's not like I can say, hey, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? It's like I'm trying not to lose my mind here. But it's slowly driving me nuts. Like when you get home, I'm just ready to just walk outside and not come back for a few hours. Bored children are horrible to have to deal with.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do to keep them entertained. There's only
Maybe
so
you
many.
get them both a spinning chair.
Oh, something, like it makes me want to put a roller coaster in the backyard, because
build
like
one.
at least like I could just keep myself entertained while they're running around, like build it high enough to where they can't get out.
Like a cat cage out in the backyard.
Or giant rat balls or something.
They would probably really like that.
And I could take them to a park by myself, but what would happen is I would sit down and I'd look at my phone for 30 seconds.
And they disappear.
Yeah. And then like I'd get up and try to find them. And then, an hour later, look, Dad,
And they were hiding in the slide tunnel the whole time.
Watching me. I'd have to call you in a panic. Like, I don't know where the kids are. What do you mean you don't know
Look
where
in
the
the
kids
washing
are?
machine. I'm not at home. I'm at the park.
Now there's more listeners on the show, so we'd have to go backwards a while, like to tell that story. If anybody wants to know, we'll tell that story again. But
Yeah.
and we did tell
Just if your kids are ever missing, you're pretty sure they're in the house, just look in the washing machine.
Yeah. So we've got alarm systems now. We've got it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Like we double lock the doors when we're home. It's weird. Like and not because we're afraid of break-ins. We're afraid of break-outs. Yeah, that's great. Anyway, I think we just better wrap this whole thing up, because we got a sleepyhead in there that escaped from his bed. So, and we got to get this out for the morning. I don't I want to do this again with you on Monday. I'm not sure if we're gonna have the time. Maybe work something out and maybe have to do something on the phone with you or something.
On the phone.
We have the capabilities. We're all set up for remote. We're set up for in studio. We're set up for I'm actually, we're kind of shifting gears with the podcast a little bit. We haven't really talked about that on the podcast before, but maybe I have. I don't know. Maybe I've talked to a guest or two about shifting gears with the podcast, but I think I'm going to do a little bit more in studio stuff with regular average people, and the remote stuff I'm going to leave for interviews that I can't get here,
Mm-hmm.
and like interviews from across the world, and interviews with people that have no reason to travel this far. Like they have no, like they're not, uh, you know what I'm saying? Remote interviews for remote. But there's been a couple people reached out here locally that didn't want to do remote, and I I don't, if you're local, like I just as soon do it right here in the studio. I know it doesn't look great until we get new cameras, but we do have plans to get better cameras, or at least more cameras. You know, I plan, like if we do the webcam things, I can put them all over the room,
Yeah.
but I can have a lot of, like probably 4 different cameras on there. But anyway, it's just something to think about. For the podcast for right now, though, I want to keep putting out the content that I am putting out. I want to keep putting out the type of content that I'm putting out, but it's the frequency that's really the frequency of in studio podcast is not. I'd like to get more, because these type of interactions are better for me. I think being sitting across the table from other people, I think we get into in more in-depth conversation that they can feel me out, I can feel them out. It's just different when you're here in studio. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think about like in studio versus remote? Yeah, do you think it'd be easier to make a like a rapport with somebody?
Mm-hmm.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think there's been quite a few guests that I've had on already remote that it would be beneficial to do in the studio. Tanaway Downing was one of them. I think he's going to be great in studio. I had a lot in common with him. It was a great interview. And we'll have to get Patrick Naughton Jr. on again in April when his book drops, which is soon. It's coming up. It drops around my birthday. I think he said August or April 15th, something like that. Get him back in studio. I really enjoyed that one. But there's a couple people in Kansas City that I'm trying to get a hold of that I'd like to do an interview with. Johnny Dare, 98.9 The Rock, DJ for 30 something years. I'd like to talk to him. And there's a couple people within the Royals organization I'm going to reach out to, and I'd like to have them in studio. If I can't get them in studio, I'll reach out and see if I can do remote at least. But I think that'd be exciting. But also, if there's anybody local listening or watching, I would like to speak with plumbers. Anybody that does like plumbing work, I want to hear from you. Anybody that does HVAC work, I want to hear from you. Look me up or hit me up. We'll get you on the show and talk about those things. Infrastructure is very big. I want to talk about infrastructure and the people that lay it in and put it in and all of it, you know, all of anything that has to do with infrastructure. I'm all about that. I'm going to talk to my brother soon, and he, you know, he's not big into infrastructure, but he's getting into it. So if you're a lineman, get a hold of me. If you're a pipeliner, get a hold of me. I want to talk to everybody. I want to talk to people that build America. I want to talk to you guys. Let's get it going, because like that's who America wants to hear from, is people who build America. And that's who I want to hear from. Some of the most interesting people I've ever met are people that build America, the road builders, the pipeliners, the linemen, you know, that all the people that make the United States work. I want to talk to you guys.
Or if you're just, you know, regular Joe with an interesting story.
Yeah. Hey, and if you're a stay-at-home parent and want to talk about how mean your kids are, you know, let's talk. I want to talk about all that stuff, and I think the majority of time I just like to talk to people who have not only interesting stories to tell or interesting stories to share. I think I like hearing people's thoughts and opinions on things. of all things, I'm very curious. And like, if I'm like infrastructure, for instance, I've worked in infrastructure, so I know a little bit of what I'm talking about, but I'm more interested on a larger scale, how it works on a big giant scale. You know, I'd like to go tour some places and find out
Like
why
a
we don't.
dam.
Yeah, that'd be freaking awesome. Like, we could look at this damn dam. But anyway, like I was saying, you know, put this out on a short or something. You know, get the word out there. If you're, maybe I'll have to plan one out with a script or something. But hey, if you guys want to, anybody that wants to talk about your job and what you do and build America, let's do it. Till then, we'll see you guys. Bye.
Bye.